Hello again.
Hello.
We had a small technical difficulty. We had no sound, so we've rebooted the Facebook Live, and now we're back. And I hope for all the duration of the Facebook Live.
And so, if you are coming just right now, I'm Brennos.
I'm Le0ben.
And we have lots of things to tell to you.
Yes. So, it's our second Facebook Live video. The first one was on the Family Clans, an update which has been released since then. But you seem to like, there's a lot of positive feedback about it. So we are glad about this. And just like in the first Facebook Live, we'll have two sessions, one in English, which is happening right now, and one in French at 3 p.m. CET.
Pour les joueurs français qui seront en train de nous regarder, on fera la même vidéo, à peu de choses près, mais il y aura le même contenu, à 15h, donc dans une petite heure.
Right. So, as you know, we have used the forum to ask for your suggestions about what should go in the roadmap. And you've given a lot of suggestions, about 300 suggestions. So we had to compile it to see what was coming on more often than others, that kind of things. And so we are going to present you now the improvements which are based on your suggestions. There are about 90% improvements which are based on your suggestions. And those improvements will appear on the roadmap at the end of the afternoon, around 5 p.m.
Sure. And I'm at this computer. You see a little piece of this, and I see all your comments, maybe your questions, and we will probably have some time to answer to some questions or comments. So feel free to write, feel free to ask.
Yes. Okay, so just to let you know how the improvements will be released, they will be released by batches every 2 weeks until mid-July, and in mid-July we'll have the church update, which will come in two parts. Until then, we're going to tell you more about those improvements that are covering until July. Okay. So, about those improvements.
And so maybe we can add this at the end of this video. We will maybe tease some news that will be released after the church.
Yes.
So, keep here. So, then, Le0ben, the first suggestions were asked by lots of players. I have a list, and on my list, I have Anna Rose, Condenado, Magdalene, Sylvain de Habsburg, Gala van Spessen, Tibantik, Vittoria Christine, Archibald, und so weiter. This is about the abandoned houses and abandoned taverns in the 3D village.
Yes, there were a lot of requests about it. And here's what we are going to do. These abandoned houses and taverns will be automatically removed during the daily update, so during the night. So any character who has been eradicated or set aside, his or her tavern and house will be removed from the 3D village, which will leave room for active players. About the 3D models of the houses, if it is removed from the 3D village, it goes back in your 3D houses inventory. So you won't lose it when you come back to play.
And guys about 3D, we had another request about Ramparts.
Yes, indeed, there was a small problem with ramparts. It was difficult sometimes to reorient them. So we've changed the system. We are in the process of changing the system so that you can reorient the ramparts part by part. So to be completely sure that they are in the right position when you place them. As we had players who told us that sometimes there was a small bug and one part was not aligned with the others, then you'll be able to reorient them and realign as you please.
So, thank you. And we had a lot of requests about events.
Yes. So we listened to this request and we're in the process of creating these events. There will be new events about perfecting skills, about request to dock for the harbor master, about applications to join a clan for the head of clan, and about soldiers making donations to an army. So this will be much more easier to know when such things happen, thanks to the events. And if you have other events ideas, you can use the suggestions forums to let us know about it.
Thank you. And so I see some quick questions, and will be able to move the ramparts? No, just to reorient it. And another question from a guy, he's from Russia or Bulgaria, sorry, but I cannot read your name. Question about the church. Here, in this video, we won't tell you more about the church, but feel free to ask it on the forum on the topic Feed the Roadmap.
Yes.
And in another communication, we will present you everything about the church and answer to your specific questions about the church. And at least, Ricardo asked about abandoned houses and spoke about abandoned ship on the sea. No, this is not the same feature. We didn't find this in the forum, so maybe you should write it on the forum, and for the next batch, maybe we can collect it and study the case. Thank you. So,
okay.
and
So
we had some news, some proposal from Corbeau Noir. He's a developer from Celsius Online, and told us that lots of players had problem with animals.
yes, with feeding their animals, they often missed the moment where they should feed them. So we started developing help to know when you have to feed your animal. There will be a highlight of the action you have to do. And this way it will be much more easier to know when you have to do it.
Good. And we have the same problem about some item in properties.
Yes.
I launched an action, but I forgot to set a knife in my house.
Yes. In this case, you'll see a warning to let you know that you don't have the proper item in the inventory of the house, and as such that the action won't succeed. So this warning will be very useful to not start the action if you want to have some time to have the item and place it in the house inventory. Just one thing though, remember that the item must stay in the inventory after that, during the action, so that it can be taken into account. Don't place it and then remove it. It won't work.
Thank you. And always about item, we had a question from Sianob, who told us, "Oh, my items are breaking too fast."
Yes, so there were players who were complaining about that, about the fact that as the items that can be broken, it is entirely random. It can happen at your first use or at your 100th use. Some players were unlucky, and often their items were broken during the first uses. So we've changed the system so that these items which can break will have durability. This will also be useful because you can see this durability, for instance, in the market. If I'm not mistaken, Brennos?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sure. As like the shovels, for example, or pickaxes.
Yes.
It will be the same system.
And so it will be fair for everybody, as everybody will have the same durability, and it won't be random anymore.
Thank you. Then we had some other suggestions about items from Johan, who told us that he bought by mistake clothes for women, thinking it was for men. We have Nagira, who wanted more details about items, or Wardor, who asked the same.
Okay, so we have good news for all these players. Each item, when the corresponding improvement will be online, each item will have a description to let you know what they are used for exactly, if they are for men, if they are for women, if they can break, and this way you'll be able to know what the items are used for. So this won't be an issue anymore.
Thank you. So I have some little questions from players about the Ramparts. We won't hear release more news about war or armies, not about the war in general. So maybe in the future, for now, continue to make suggestions if you have ideas to improve your Ramparts. So it's for David. I continue to collect questions and I will answer after.
Okay.
So maybe we could answer to the lots of physicians.
Yes.
We were very numerous to ask questions.
Okay.
My English is very bad. And so we have Liam, de Saint-Didier, Melian, Olivia, and Eggmarine, Eskimot, Nerax, Raymond, Da, Toledo, Breeze, Liptis, Lunatica, so lots of players.
Yes, we wanted to do new things for the physicians for quite some time now, and we're going to do two new things which should be three new things which should be very interesting for them. The first one is that they are going to be able to create a new type of potions. Until now, potions were used to cure diseases, and those new potions will be used to give temporary bonus to the ones who drink it. So, we are still thinking about those bonus. There could be about characteristic. There could be about unavailability, hard word, and we're going to ask you to tell us if you have idea for these potions which would give temporary bonus. So we really hope it will be interesting for the physicians to have the ability to create those potions. And another good news is that we're going to sort the inventories, and notably the inventories of the physicians, so that they can the potions will be sorted according to their labels, which will make them much more easier to find. About the suggestions, I've told you you can suggest ideas for potions which give a bonus. We're going to add in the roadmap a link where you can give those suggestions. It will be in the suggestions forum, and you'll be able to do it at that place.
So, thank you. A little answer for Florian. Yes, we will answer you about the church in another communication, another day. Yes, I won't be sure. So, will there be new roads? Asked Daniela. Not in this batch, but you can gather all the requests about new roads. Some players want it, but for now it is not scheduled. But continue to gather information about it on the forum. It will be easier for us to take it in account.
Yes, and we are always checking the feed the roadmap topic. So even if your suggestion isn't in this batch, this doesn't mean that we didn't read it. This means that we've compiled it, and it's planned. Well, it's planned. We are going to check it. So that's it for the roads. So let's get to the next improvement.
And just before the potions, Daniela asked, what about chestnut ointments for physicians? Go on the forum, suggest it. Le0ben told it to you. So, yes, next.
The next one is a big one.
Yes, account confirmation system.
So, we told you about it in the last Facebook Live video. And now we have more details about it. So this system is done to fight multi-accounts, and to make sure there are as little multi-accounts as possible. It will include, among other things, a text message confirmation system. We've been paying attention to your feedback, as well as your questions about connection sharing, or what happens to players who don't own a cell phone. We will tell you more about this new system before it is gradually implemented, and we will create a specific FAQ for it. So don't be worried about it. It's going to come in pieces. It won't happen just one day. The system will be set. We'll explain it to you. We'll hear your feedback about it, and from then you'll see it.
Thank you. Next one, group messages. Group messages.
Yes, indeed. So, constables and sheriffs will have the opportunity to use group messages for the men who are under their command. So it will make it easier to communicate with them and to give them direct orders.
So, a suggestion from Liam de Saint-Didier and Alpha 14. Thank you to you. And we had another suggestion from Hatibalt, Jovan, Tadeita, Fantu about the wardrobe.
Yes, about the wardrobe, it was not very well sorted until now. We're going to change it so that the sorting system is much better, and it will be much easier to find the piece of clothing you're searching, you're looking for.
Thank you. Then we had lots of are we saying botanist in English?
That's a good question.
For the people who in the game make growing the trees.
Growing plants. The craftsmen who are taking care of plants, and the French word is botanist, but I don't remember it in English. So about the botanist, could you check how it is said in English?
Sure,
please?
I will. Gardener. Some players are proposing gardener, and another one say botanist.
In
So,
this case, it's the same. So
thank you, Patan. Thank you, David. Thank you, ma'am. Maybe the camera is moving when we.
Oh, sorry. We're going to take care and not move the table. Sorry.
So it was for the botanists, yes. And then we have other suggestion from Princess Le0ben, Cyanob, Kritos. About it is a very, very old question. We already answered it in the past, but we will answer it again. It's important. Clothes being worn down.
Yes, that's something we've seen several times in the Feed the Roadmap topic. We are not going to do it, and here are the reasons why. Because in the current economic system, it wouldn't work. It would make going from one level to another one too costly for the players, notably for the first levels. It would be easy for old characters who have a lot of pounds, but for the new ones, it will make their life harder. And it would be a big balance change for the weavers, who wouldn't win as much as they'd hoped. So we're not going to do this one. About the botanist, I realized I forgot to tell you something about it, and it's that the dies will be changed, so that they'll be more useful in the fact that weavers will be able to use it to change the color of a piece of clothing. So it will be a new use for dyes, and also there will be a balanced change on the price of the plant pots. Botanists have often said that there was a problem with it, and indeed we're going to change it.
Okay, good for you. And Magdalene asked question about the moves.
Yes. So the action of moving, there was a bit of confusion with it, because you can move from one village to another one, and you can move in the 3D village. So we're going to clear that out so that there's less confusion. And also another piece of information, we're going to make it so that when you move from one village to another, if you have furniture in your 3D village, it will be automatically moved in your new village. So you won't have to take it out of the property and then move it by yourself. It will be automatically moved. So it will be much simpler that way.
So thank you and welcome to all the newcomers who are coming on this live. Next suggestions is from Neiko and lots of other players about family clans. That's about influence, yes. Lots of players sent us requests to have some roleplay titles which should give influence.
Indeed. So what we're going to do in an improvement is that kings and counts will be able to give repeated titles, and those titles will give influence to the players they are given to. So this way, kings and counts also play a role in gaining influence, which will be interesting for them.
So, and if you want some details, maybe
Yes.
you will have each king or count will have a total of influence points to give, and he will have to create his own titles and to set influence points in each titles he will create.
Yes.
So you will be free to write the title you want to create.
You'll be the ones deciding which title, how it's named, and who will have it.
Thank you. A little question by Erka Mtostik about Ramparts and bonuses. It's already online for years. So I have lots of requests from players, so I don't have a list, about families and NPCs.
Yes. So we're going to expand the creation of ties with NPCs. What we're going to do is that, for instance, it will be possible to have the same NPC as a parent. So let's say your father, you have NPC as a father. Another player will also be able to have this NPC as his father, and it will show in his family tree. And we're still studying other ideas about it.
Thank you. Next one, always about influence. We had Lunatica. Alors, it was not a suggestion about influence, but we linked influence with this suggestion from Lunatica, which was every town should have more slots in the port to welcome more boats. So
we developed the idea of luxury docks, which are a dock which will be reserved to the captains of the most influential clans. So they will still be able to use the regular docks if they want, but they will have access to those luxury docks, and the number of luxury docks will vary according to the level of the harbor.
Good,
That's
good. Next one, we have lots of news about the market. So you are lots of players asking things about the market, and it's normal. It's an important feature in the game. So Siren asked us to, or Wardor, to ask directly to someone to buy something.
That's correct. That's exactly it. You'll be able to reserve an offer for someone in particular, so that this way you're sure this character will get the item. So that was a request we've heard a lot of times, and we're going to do it.
And other player asked to buy faster and to buy more items. So Motep, Elina Rose, Gala von Spessen, Diana, Orome. So
you'll be able to buy more than 10 items in one go, and also we're going to make some changes to the market. Now the transactions will be almost instantaneous. So you won't have to wait 10 minutes. You'll have to wait much less before a transaction is done.
So, but Le0ben, if buying an item on the market is very fast now. Why should I up my charisma?
Very good introduction to our next improvement, which is that we are looking for ways to make charisma and intelligence as useful in the game as strength. Currently in the game, strength is much more used as a characteristic than charisma and intelligence. So we are looking for situations where a high charisma or high intelligence could be useful. So we're going to create a topic in the suggestions forum where you'll be able to suggest ideas, situations where charisma and intelligence can be taken into account, just like strength, so that so that players with a higher charisma and intelligence can make good use of it.
Thank you. And on Facebook, I had a question from Mam Angelou about it was a question in French, I cannot translate. It's about the sample.
Yes, it's the potions.
About the things we are using to make potions. Oh, I have too much in my inventory. So we told us before in this live that we will have a new sorting system for your items in your inventory. So having a lots of items won't be a problem anymore for you. So next one. We had a proposal from Valzan about the pop-up window of the tavern.
Yes. So the size of this pop-up window will be fixed, as on Firefox this window was too small. So we'll fix this issue thanks to Valzan for letting us know about it.
Good. But okay, pop-up window is great, but it's not the only suggestion we have about taverns. I don't have a list here because we had too much suggestions and proposal about taverns, but we have an answer.
Yes. So here are a couple of things about taverns. First thing is that taverns will be available on mobile. So there won't be any issue with it. And about the tavern on the web version, we have a lot of suggestions to improve it. But for the moment, we are not going to do it because there's a lot of work linked to it, as we'd like to modify the technology used by the taverns in order to really improve them. So we're thinking about it, but it's not right now.
Sure. On mobile?
Yes,
yes.
They will be available on mobile.
Sure. And in the future, we will break with the Flash technology.
Yes.
So this is not for this batch, but in the future. So we had lots of suggestions and questions about robbering, and we had a very interesting suggestion from Kern Horn, who proposed why a robber can steal more that he can carry.
Yes, that's a very good point. And as such, an improvement will be that robbers won't be will be limited. To their maximum overload. However, the good news for the robbers is that they will prioritize the items which have the best value. So robbers will take the items with the highest values up to their max overload. Hope it's clear.
Hope it too. And we had another questions from the same Valerians who asked something before about the reworking of the Charter of Justice.
Yes.
Is it still planned?
Yes, it's still planned, but as you see, we are developing a lot of things, so we have to do step by step, and we are thinking about reworking it this summer and applying it to all the kingdoms. So this way there will be the same everywhere. And there will be a new system which will take care of in-game abuses, which will be more efficient. Yes, Brennos just reminded me that I didn't say that for the robbers. They will take all the pounds. They will take all the pounds from the victims. Right?
Everything who had the highest value.
Yes.
So okay.
Okay.
We are just to say this
just
is
sure.
This is a balanced feature.
Yes.
It's not to say robbery is wrong. No, it's an important feature.
Yes.
Just to say that. Sorry to have interrupted you.
No problem. So yes, about the Charter of Justice. There will be less issues with this new rework, and that's something we are working on. But it won't be in the next months that it will come, not before summer at least.
Thank you. I still see suggestions about church. Not in this video. Continue to ask it on the forum, and later in another communication we will answer about it. But thank you for your questions. We, from the beginning of this video, there was lots of questions and suggestions I didn't take, because this is about 3D. A lot of questions about 3D village, new features, new possibilities. So we can tell you something about that.
We can tell you something about that. Indeed, is that currently there's a work which are done on the 3D. The work's done so that it will work much better for everyone. And once this work is over, then we'll be able to add new things to the 3D. But first, we have to make this work on the engine, and then add the new features.
So it was the question from Godvin too.
Hello, Godvin.
Hello, Godvin. And so we have here is a presentation of features we will come before July.
Yes.
But maybe we can tease some feature we are working for after July.
Indeed.
Maybe from we had a lot of questions about Arena from Tolenos, Sophie D, Julien Votex, Selena Dalaric, Pete Controp. What about Arena? More features?
After the church, during the summer, we're going to start thinking about a project of redoing the arena, so that it won't be the same anymore. It will be very different and much interesting than the current arena. So this is plan 2, not right now, but a bit later.
Thank you. And Alessandro, why don't you have a fluent English and Italian native social community manager? Sorry for that, but we do the best for you.
We're doing our best. Sorry.
We had oh, that's it.
Yes.
So
that's it.
maybe another feature.
Mhm. There's just one last little thing.
Sure.
It's that another improvement will be that there will be a pop-up window in the game which will ask you if you'd like to like our Facebook page, and if you do so, your character will get 15 pounds. It's very interesting for us to have more and more players on the Facebook page. It gives more visibility to the game, it draws more players, so that's why we do this. So feel free to get those 15 pounds by liking our Facebook page.
So, thank you. And
that's it.
That's it. So, please come on the roadmap if you want more details.
Yes.
Maybe in 5, it will be updated.
Around 5 p.m. we'll update it with all the new improvements. You'll be able to read all of them.
Because here we didn't tell you.
5 p.m. CET.
Yeah. We didn't tell you everything.
Yes.
There is more features that will come before July.
Yeah.
But we didn't have time to explain you.
But we did give you the more important ones, the ones we thought you'd like to hear about it as soon as possible.
And for each feature, as usual, you will find more details on the dashboard when we will release it. So like it, share it, and thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
I will close the video because we are still live.